Rule 506, and this applies very much to what we discussed with our first guest who was here talking about some of the changes that hedge funds are going to have as they are allowed to markets to new people. And we know the SEC is still working on all the details. Our guest told us October. That's what you understand as well, right? Done and dusted, final print comes out in October.
Well, they're going to meet on it next week, and hopefully they're going to propose some rules next week, take some comments for a month or two. So yeah, October looks like a reasonable guess. Rule 506, everyone should understand, is the main rule under something called Reg D. Reg D are the private placements that we have in this country that allow you to sell securities without registering them with the SEC. So if you want to do a private placement, you have to qualify it under Reg D. The main rule under Reg D is Rule 506, but that is the one that says, hey, if you want to do one of these private placements, you cannot have general solicitation of the fund in the securities and still qualify.
You cannot go by a billboard on the highway. You cannot have your ad run during reruns of Friends.
Yeah, and in fact, right now the rules are really, really restrictive. You can't even you can't show the offering to someone unless you're a broker-dealer and you have a pre-existing relationship with that person. So there really is a private to the private placement as it sits right now.
All right, but go through again this idea of accredited and non-accredited investors and what hedge funds can do now.
Okay, so this is a really important point because I think some people are kind of almost paralyzed by the Jobs Act and saying, well, we can't do anything until these rules become final, and that's not really accurate. Right now, an accredited investor is somebody who's defined in Rule 501. So that's an accredited investor, and generally speaking, as you articulated yesterday right here on the set, that's somebody with $1 million of net worth, not including their house. Now, right now, you can't advertise, as we just said, the securities of the fund. You will be able to, apparently, but you can't right now. But what you can do, if you are a registered investment advisor, you can advertise the management company, which is typically the manager of the fund. And so what we're seeing right now is hedge funds and private equity funds and venture capital funds are hiring CMOs for the first time. Chief media officers, chief marketing officers for the first time ever. I mean, this is kind of a crazy shift in culture that you're seeing at these places because they've been so secretive, and now suddenly they have to figure out how are they going to go out and compete against other firms as they raise their profile and try to raise money.
So do you think that the tone of the ads that we're going to see from hedge funds, from the community, are going to mimic pretty much what we see when they advertise mutual funds?
Yeah, I think that you're going to have a lot of limitations on talking about past performance and all sorts of, disclaimers about past performance is not an indication of future results and all of that sort of things. And, the reality is that the SEC staff hates this law. Hates it. And
yeah,
so
it's more work and probably with at least the same resources or less.
Yeah, well, that's right. And they're kind of afraid of what's going to happen. So it's kind of humorous. You can kind of imagine them writing rules so these things will look not even like mutual fund ads, it'll look more like pharmacology ads. And it'll be 10 seconds of the benefit of the thing and 90 seconds of you might die from it if you actually.
I was just going to say, you feel like you're going to die, stop taking it.
But the thing that, again, to reinforce is that right now you can, if you are a registered investment advisor, you can talk about the management company right now today. And so some of these CMOs are doing that right now and looking forward to the day where they'll actually be able to advertise the underlying fund that they manage.
All right.